this section we are going to talk about if elif else statement. So it's a control flow. It's based on the logical statement. So we are going to type a couple of the codes, and based on our logic, so we will just execute the lines that we need in certain cases. So if I give a sample as, let's imagine you are walking into the room and if the room is dark, you will turn the lights on. If not, otherwise you will not. So you see, you are using the if statement even in our languages too. So let's see how it looks like in the Python. So right now I will be using a comparison in if statement. So I will say if 2 is equal to 2, and right now whenever I hit enter, right now you see it comes to that position. So I will say print true, or you say you are right. Otherwise I will say else, I will say print you are not right. So right now it shows that if that case is true, so we need to execute that line only, and after that it will just skip the rest of time. Otherwise, if that is not true in the first one, so it is going to skip that line and it will execute the rest of them. So if I print it, it says you are right. And what if I will say it's not equal to? Let me run it. It will say you are not right, because that statement, that case is not true. So it will skip that line and it is going to go to another one. Let me give another example. I will say SAT score is equal to 1000. Right now I will say if SAT score is bigger than 900, I will say print good. I will say if it's not more than 100, I will say else print you need to work harder. So let me just print it. Oops. Let me just print it. It says good because my SAT score it's more than 900. So let's imagine I will put 800 over here. So it is the first case, it's not true, so it is going to jump to the second one, and the second one is going to print it. So right now I have two cases. So in this case it says either it's more than 900 or less than 900. What if I have a couple cases? So I need to use elif in between. So right now what I need to say that, hey, here is elif, and right now I need to give another statement which is going to be true. Elif, I will say SAT score is bigger than 500 and SAT score is less than 900. So in the first case it is more than 900. In the second case it's more than 500 but less than 900. I need to just print not bad. And if anything else which is less than 500, it is going to print harder. So let me give 700 right now. So if I run it, it is going to give me not bad, because it is going to that the second statement it becomes true. So right now we can use only once if, and we can use only once else, and we can use couple elifs. So as much as you need, and you can use these elifs. So let me just add one more. What I can say that elif SAT score is bigger than 200, and I will say SAT score is less than 500. And in this case I will print, let me just get it back. So, and if that is completely out, I will say very bad. So let me just run it. Let me just give it 100. So in the first one, that is not true because that is 100. In the second one, it's not true again because it's supposed to be in that range. And the third one will not work as well, so it is going to the else one. So if I run it, it is says very bad. Let me give another example. So let me just give, I will say name is equal to Mike. And right now I will try to compare it and I will just make some logical flow here. So I will say if name is equal to Mike, I will say, let me just print, oops, hello Mike. What if I have another statement which is in this case I will not be using the two statements, more than two statements. If you have a more than two statements, guys, you need to use if, else, and in between you need to use elif. So I will say elif name is equal to, let me say John, and I will say print hello John. If the name is something else, if it's not Mike, if it's not John, and it's something else, I will say else and print, oops, print what is your name. So if you just pay attention over here, you see whenever we use if and elif, so we need to give a statement, we need to compare something. So the boolean is supposed to come. I mean, if here is the true, that executed. If it's not the true, go to the next line. So right now, if that statement is true, executed. Otherwise, just go to the next one. And during the else, we are not giving any statement because if the statements above is all, if all of them are false, so the last one, which is going to be else, so that is going to be executed. So right now I'm running that. Since we already have Mike over here, it's going to print a Mike. If I have a John over here, so it is going to print hello John. So what if I will give another name which is completely different? So that is not this one, that is not the second one. If I run it, it is going to say, hey, what is your name? Because that is going to be execute this one. You see, right now we have a couple lines of codes, but they are not executable because we are following with a logical flow.